Some of you may not know who this guy is, but in case you don't know, this is Ronald Dalton Jr. And he is the director behind that film, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, that has caused all this, in my honest opinion, exaggerated outrage. And you know, when Kyrie Irving posted that link, and now a lot of people, because I'm not going to say everybody, because it's not everybody, has lost their damn minds. Well, he has come out and he has released a statement, and he is standing 10 toes down behind Kyrie Irving. And he released a statement that, yeah, he pretty much went in. And I hope the statement is in this article that I'm about to read, because he wasn't biting his tongue. But let's get into it. A statement attributed to Ronald Dalton Jr. addresses the controversy over the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. The movie director responsible for the documentary that sparked an anti-Semitism controversy after NBA star Kyrie Irving brought attention to it via social media is speaking out. A press release attributed to Ronald Dalton Jr., whose book Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America became a movie in 2018 that he directed, responded to the growing backlash about the film, following Irving's suspension from the Brooklyn Nets because the all-star point guard tweeted a link to the documentary late last month. A statement tweeted from a Twitter account identified as Ronald Dalton Jr. defiantly defended the film, refused to apologize, and vehemently rejected claims he or the movie harbors any hatred towards people in that community. Irving ultimately apologized for what his critics, sorry about that, I had a call come in. Irving ultimately apologized for what his critics said amounted to an endorsement of a film that the Anti-Defamation League claims promotes beliefs commonly found among anti-Semitic and extremist factions of the Black Hebrew Israelites, a religious group of African Americans whose members believe they are the descendants of the ancient Israelites and may adhere to both Christian and Judaic beliefs. That includes claims that modern Jews are imposters who stole the religious heritage of Black people and have engaged in a cover-up to prevent Black people from knowing their true identity. It was in that context that the press release renounced all forms of prejudice and racial hatred while claiming that the term anti-Semitism has been misused. Unlike Irving, the press release refused to say sorry. I'm not apologizing for nothing because I can't be anti-Semitic because I'm an Israelite or Shemite. The tweet posted Monday morning said in part, still waiting for a debate with the top rabbis to prove who is an Israelite by blood and who can rightfully use the word anti-Semitic. Now, what I'm going to do for y'all is I'm going to actually pull up that press release and we're going to read through the entire thing because it's actually longer than just that. What the article did was it pulled some of the key things that he mentioned. So hold on right quick. So here's the entire press release right here, dated November 6, 2022. I vehemently reject and condemn any forms of prejudice or hatred towards any person, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, lineage, ancestry, or sex, as well as violence, racism, bullying, discrimination, Black Jewphobia. That's a new one. I've never heard of that one. And the misuse of the term anti-Semitism. The African diaspora that was sent to the Americas and the Caribbean via the transatlantic slave trade are ethnically the Israelites of the Bible, from the lineage of Shem. Therefore, myself or anyone today who was a descendant of Shem's 5 sons cannot be anti-Semitic. As a Shemite, I am against any form of anti-Semitism or anti-Shemitism in America or worldwide. Racist scapegoating, as well as unfair tactics that hold communities of color responsible for societal problems, must stop. It is our collective duty to create a society where everyone has the same opportunities irrespective of their race, religion, ethnicity, or sex. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression should not be seen as infringement, but unfortunately, based on what we have seen lately in the news, this is a sad reality in America. We definitely have more work to do to fix this. The Israelites are dedicated to collaborating with all groups to make it possible for people from all backgrounds to watch the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, just as one might watch the 1977 Roots TV miniseries, which is shown annually every February during Black History Month. The mass media relies on promoting exclusivity, stroking fear, and assigning blame to those that go against their narratives. Everyone should be free to approach their past without worrying that they will be singled out, vilified, and bullied. I implore everyone to take the time to read my books, watch my movie documentaries, then fact check everything so that we can all have a full understanding of the true history of Black people in the diaspora, which is now being told from a different perspective. Using the study of history, theology, geography, cartography, biology, craniology, odontology, genetics, linguistics, archaeology, anthropology, and more, I provide the evidence to substantiate that the information in my visual literary work is indeed factual. Hopefully after all of this is done, we can begin to forge a nation founded on our complete history. I pray that we are able to continue to bring people together of all backgrounds to embrace historical events and facts that are detrimental to the progression of our society as a whole. Signed, Ronald Dalton Jr., CEO, Hebrews to Negroes Film. So there you go right there. That was the entire press release that he gave. That's the entire thing right there. And that just shows you he is not going to stand down for this. Again, Amazon allowed him to put these books, because I think there's 3 of them, and this movie on their site, and has been there with no issue. But when Kyrie Irving tweeted about it, oh, now it's a problem, which lets you know they've never seen this before. Because if they've seen this before, their so-called outrage would have kicked up dust years ago, but it didn't. So this is just nothing more than fake outrage. But let me continue to read the article. That sentiment was similar to that expressed by Irving, who, before being forced to apologize, said he could not be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. The press release placed the blame squarely on the shoulders of the media, like what the rapper formerly known as Kanye West has said, and encouraged people to read the book and reach their own conclusions instead. The press release suggested that doing so would lead to people beginning to forge a nation founded on our complete history. I'm trying to skip ahead a little bit because now they're pulling quotes from the press release that I just read. Now I don't want to reread it. The press release failed to acknowledge the criticism that his film denies the Holocaust, includes a fake quote attributed to the Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. And that's what it says right there. It says, meanwhile, Amazon.com, the e-tail giant that has Hebrews to Negroes available to rent and for sale worldwide and is responsible for the link shared by Irving, has been contemplating removing the film, according to the New York Times. Let's be real here. They don't want to take that film down because this has given them more promotion. This affects their site because, of course, they're going to get a cut of it. The film in the book went up as far as volume of people buying it or buying the book or renting the documentary or buying the entire documentary to have all together. I think they even raised the price. So when they say contemplating, if Amazon really wanted to take or remove the film or the book, they would have did it already. But they don't want to because they see that money rolling in. But let me continue. Critics and people supporting Irving has expressed outrage that Amazon and its mega billionaire owner Jeff Bezos have emerged unscathed, while the basketball star faces the brunt of the consequences for publicizing the documentary. Former professional baseball player and current analyst for ESPN Jay Williams is among those who raised that point days before Irving's suspension was announced. There deserves to be more context from Kyrie, Williams said Wednesday during ESPN's First Take show. It's irresponsible to amplify messages from Hitler. Yes, this is true. So why is it on a major platform like Amazon.com? The platform is profiting and promoting it to billions of people, Williams added, suggesting that point is being missed here. Williams made sure to say that Amazon.com selling and profiting from the books and films doesn't excuse Irving at all, but he said he felt the issue needed to be included in the larger discussion about Irving's actions, seeing as he wouldn't have been able to tweet something that wasn't made available online in the first place. Now, Jay Williams, this is at the point where I think he was kind of against Kyrie Irving, but then he came back like a couple days later, and before he even prefaced what he was getting ready to say, he said, I might lose my job over this. So he already knew what the consequences could have been for what he was about to say. So it's almost like he added that in as a disclaimer. And then that's when he went in on what he says. So everything that I just read is almost kind of like null and void at this point. That is to speak nothing of the fact that Amazon has previously been forced to remove similarly anti-Semitic content following public outrage, not unlike what we're seeing with Irving. It was only in 2020 when public pressure compelled Amazon to remove from its website an illustrated children's book by the founder of an anti-Semitic newspaper that was founded during the Nazi era. 2 years prior, a customer review that remains live accused Amazon.com of selling hate speech and using anti-Semitism as a marketing tool for selling the book in question. I think I know what book they're talking about. This disgusting and vile book was written to indoctrinate Nazi youth and is still used as a hatred primer for children. The review began before asking, why is Amazon supplying and profiting from a Kindle version of this? Why is Amazon selling hateful propaganda to children? The reviewer went on to accuse Amazon of being a company making money off of racism and sponsoring and disseminating anti-Semitism. This is despicable. Amazon should know better and must stop spreading hate. Amazon apparently ignored that criticism until the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial and Museum spoke out in 2020, after which it took just 3 days for the book to be removed from Amazon. To be sure, Hebrews to Negroes Wake Up Black America not only remains available to rent on Amazon Prime for $11.99 and for sale of $49.99. That just told you, because I highly doubt that those were the original prices. Those are the hiked up prices after the views went up. But it also is being sold in book form along with an apparent sequel, both of which are at the top of the bestsellers list under the African American demographic study genre. Neither the video nor the books have any type of disclaimer appended about anti-Semitism. A request sent to Amazon for comment was not immediately returned. So that's the entire article right there. I just saw the whole statement given by Ronald Dalton Jr. and he's not backing down. He is standing behind Kyrie, and the thing is, he can't even afford to back down anyway, because this is his work. He put it out there. Like, he put a lot of time and effort and research into this, only for it to get hit with a lot of, like I said, fake outrage. Because let's be real here, that's really all it is. Because if they really was upset and outraged about this, they would have said something a long time ago, when this movie came out 4 years ago, or when the books came out years before that. You mean to tell me no one came across it then? But you know what it is? It was in the African American section or demographic library, or whatever you want to call it, corner of Amazon, which would explain why many people, and you know who I'm talking about, didn't see it. But when Kyrie put it out there, now you're upset. And I was reading, and I was looking at something. I think Harvey had did a video where it was talking about a whole bunch of different celebs was coming out saying how outraged they were about this. And I think they said it was like upwards of 200. I'm like, who are all 200 of these people? And it's crazy how their little outrage just kind of is pouring in right now. Yeah. It seems real suspect to me. Who are all these people that are so mad and so outraged? They only name like a couple of them, but not all 200. All I can do at this is just like sit back, shake my head, and laugh at this right now, because it is absolutely ridiculous. The lengths that people are going when it comes to this right here. Listen, Kyrie, just keep doing what you're doing. Ronald Dalton Jr., this guy right here, kudos to you. You're standing 10 toes down and firmly on your square about this whole situation, because it is blown out of proportion. It is literally taking a mind of its own and literally run amok. That's literally what it has done, and for no reason. But let them tell it. It is almost the equivalent of him committing a terroristic act.